the world's last unexplored wilderness.
This is what we do expeditions for, places like this.
I want to find at least 30 new species.
Exploring New Guinea.
This is unbelievable!
Lost Land of the Volcano continues tomorrow at 9 on BBC One.
My journey begins in lands far away, in search of the bushy-tailed aye-aye.
I think we'd be really lucky to find them.
What was that? Completely peculiar.
Join Stephen Fry and Mark Cawardine in what might be our last chance to see. Continues Sunday at 8 on BBC Two. Missed an episode? Watch it now on BBC iPlayer.
This is BBC One in the East. Now the BBC News with Sophie Rayworth and Amanda Goodman at 10 o'clock.
The battle over public spending intensifies as the government prepares to admit cuts will be needed. The BBC understands that Gordon Brown will use the word cuts for the first time when he addresses unions tomorrow. We'll be asking where the axe might fall as the battle lines between the main parties are drawn. Also tonight, President Obama's warning to bankers a year after the Lehman Brothers collapse that triggered the financial crisis.
We will not go back to the days of reckless behavior and unchecked excess that was at the heart of this crisis.
Life in jail for the 3 airline bomb plotters behind the most grave and wicked conspiracy. The mother of 2-year-old twins seriously ill after an E. coli outbreak at a Surrey farm is furious it wasn't shut down faster.
They are quite sleepy and not with it at all. They're just lying in their cots with tubes coming out of them. And they think that they're going to be on dialysis for a good 2 weeks.
And we hear from Britain's new tennis hope, 17-year-old Heather Watson, after her triumph at the US Open.
Here in the East, she was struggling to cope, says a psychiatrist, in defence of the mother who killed her daughters. And the solicitor who claims she could be struck off for simply doing her job.
Good evening. The BBC has learned that Gordon Brown will use the word cuts in a speech about spending priorities under Labour for the first time tomorrow. The Prime Minister will use the word in a speech to the TUC conference in Liverpool. Today, unions there warned they would fight any attempt to cut public services. The Prime Minister has so far resisted pressure to admit cuts were necessary. Our political editor, Nick Robinson, has the story.
They may look cheerful enough, but the Cabinet knows it can't pretend that tough choices can be avoided. Gordon Brown will tomorrow admit that some public spending cuts are coming. His colleagues have told him that that concession is needed to clear the decks to have the economic argument he craves to have. Today, Peter Mandelson prepared the ground for him, saying that Labour simply couldn't look oblivious to the economic conditions.
Wise spenders, not big spenders. And this is and remains a core new Labour principle. We do not believe that we should try to solve problems simply by throwing money at them.
Whereas, he claimed, the Tories were foaming at the mouth with excitement at the very idea of cuts.
The Tories and their friends are yearning for people to think that because there is a need for public spending constraints,